Who has who here has been working on their business today on a Sunday?
Tidying up the office. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. That's the difference between an entrepreneur and an employee. Hey, entrepreneur, it doesn't matter if it's Sunday, I'll do some work. Hey, I've got some free time to do some work.
Yeah.
Why is
That's
that?
right.
Why is that? Why does everyone do some work on a Sunday?
Why I'm working on Sunday, why we all working on Sunday. I think it's also because of as entrepreneurs, we cannot separate ourselves from our work, and we kind of becoming our work everywhere. Like even we go to restaurant, we are the same. We are bringing our work with us, and I'm still thinking that I don't know yet. Is it good or bad? But sometimes to be able to separate yourself from your work is a very good tool, because first it really helps you to put away the crown sometimes if you have one. Second, it just helps you to reset yourself. So it's very important skill to to separate yourself from your work. And I'm teaching myself sometimes to just to get out from what I'm doing, because you're just getting too consumed with that. But yeah, but this is a huge topic, and you bring it up, Adrian, a very big thing, because if we always stay with our work, it's very easy to get burned out. So yeah,
and in our work, we may be the guru or the expert. And if you know what you're doing and you're the expert, and all day long or a lot of the time you're in your work and you're the expert, well, taking that hat or crown off allows you to step out and perhaps be a beginner again. Perhaps be a beginner, or take a different view, and you can step back and you can see the way you've been acting. So taking that hat off and being able to dissociate from your work is incredibly important. Otherwise, we're going to end up like someone who keeps working in their business rather than on their business. So how do you work on your business? Take that crown off, step back. And if you haven't done it before, you can actually, I've got a chair right here. You can actually step back and consider the you that was just sitting on the chair. Now, if you've got someone like Claire or Darko, you can see they're sitting on a chair, and you don't have to. But for like Claire or Darko, what they might want to do sometimes or on a Sunday is to stand up, stand behind their chair, or stand somewhere else and go, how is that guy doing today? What does that entrepreneur need to do to get to the next level? Or what is that entrepreneur, what are they missing? So don't get too sucked into your work. Got to make sure you can get out. Hi there, Adrian here, and this is a video from a Zoom session that we do. We do these Zoom sessions every Sunday, and we take questions and answers from the audience, some of our students, some of our members. We never know what questions are coming up, so I'm always excited to do these sessions, and I hope to see you at one of them. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below and check out the other playlists that we have. Thank you. Enjoy.
If you cannot actually separate from that, and you're getting too attached, like you're living through your work, you start to solve your personal problem through your job, through your work, and it creates problems. So that's a significant thing to step away, separate from work, and I think that we need to do something on that topic, but later it's a huge one.
Oh, just briefly, you got your first position or associated. In psychology, we call it associated. You're seeing things through your own eyes, perhaps tunnel vision or peripheral. but you're seeing things through your own eyes, that's one position. Yeah. If you're seeing it through someone else's eyes, you got a second position. And if you step further back, you got a third position. And if you go further back, you might have a third on third or a more detached. So by doing that, you got 3 or 4 new angles, and 3 or 4 new angles gives you a whole lot more information. And if you get a whole lot more information, you can make better business decisions. You can make better lifestyle decisions. If someone's stuck in any one position for too long, they're going to limit themselves to information. And Claire, what were you about to throw in? Oh, by the way, someone that's stuck in trauma, if someone's stuck in trauma, they're generally stuck in first position for too long. If someone's chronically depressed, they'll often be in a third position for too long. But that's psych stuff.
Today we are about to talk about business life hacks, but I want to start with a very interesting question that I got from my last webinar. And one lady, unfortunately, I forgot her name. She asked me, we was talking about how to find a niche, and she was asking me, okay, what would be my first step? And it really made me think, like, what would be the first step? And to be honest with you, I think that there is no quite right answer for that, because it's really depend. It's really depend on particular situation. And also, I was starting to think about it, and I realized that for me, business, it's not more like a way, it's more like a puzzle. So I think that it's more, because at the beginning, you just see at the many pieces that you should put together, and you don't realize the picture at all. Like maybe you have the picture in your mind, but you just see many pieces that you don't know which one to where to start. And from this perspective, I want to bring some clarity for you according to my personal experience, because there is no pattern to go to success, because every way is different. And if you if for example I tell you do step 1, do step 2, do step 3, you do it, it doesn't mean that you're gonna be successful. Even you repeat it exactly the same, because still you need to apply certain amount of creativity and basically open up yourself, open up your inner potential, open up your capabilities to get to this success. And it also has some kind of compound effect that you do, and then somehow it starts to work by itself. So today I want to start with this foundation, these fundamental puzzles that I want to share with you, so you can possibly apply it to your business. It will be very effective for someone who just starting business and want to understand the first step, first puzzle. Also, it can be very useful for someone who already working, and realizing these fundamental things will help you to tweak your business so it will become more effective, and you will become more effective as a human being within your business and outside your business when you separate from your business. So here it is. This is beginning. So let's move on. So first puzzle that I suggest you to do is ask yourself, what do I really want and what I really can do? And to answer this question is quite complex. So because we always judge ourselves not quite rationally. We can be too judgmental, or can be very have so many expectations of ourselves. But it's there is a life hack. I prepared for you several tests. You can go through all of them, or you can use one of them. I personally recommend you this 6 personalities. I liked it, and it gave me a good insight. When I passed it, it just said that I'm good at teaching and I'm good at delivering information, and I actually like it. That's why my business, mainly, this is what I do. I'm teaching, I'm passing the information, I'm generating the knowledge and transferring this knowledge. So this is a very good tool to understand what you're really capable to do and what you're good at. In that case, you actually can stay with that and don't try to push yourself to the area which is not really suitable for you, because it will lead you to stress and actually you will not operate effectively. So this one, this is the first step. Understand what you, because what you actually made for, this is what you want. So these are what I want and what I can. They usually get along, they come together. So I already prepared for you worksheet, so don't worry, you don't have to take picture. I will send you the worksheet where you have all this information, but just keep it in mind. First step is to understand yourself, your strengths, your weakness, and where you want to go with that, where you can get with that. The first question here I want to ask you, what is the best project? What is the best and most important and the most significant business for you? The answer for this question is very simple. You can see your business, your project, your best project that you can ever develop in the mirror. Because if you look in the mirror, you will see your business. When you're working on yourself, like as you're working on your business, this is the way to progress, because you're investing in yourself, you're investing in your capabilities, you're investing in your knowledge, you developing your business. And in that case, you never lose, you always win. So this is my first mindset. And
man, absolutely bang on. And the more we know about ourselves, the more we can work forward. I particularly like a couple of the tests that you shared there. A couple of the tests you shared are extra excellent, like the VIA one. I've got another one, but I'm sure you can add it in your handout. I got an advanced Myers-Briggs. It's a bit better than the one on the website there. The Myers-Briggs I have gives you a score, like a percentage. Some people find out that they are an introvert or introversion, and the personality test will often say you're an introvert or an extrovert. And this is not true. In a particular, like on a holiday, you may prefer introversion. But at work, you might be more of an extrovert or extroverted, right? So some of these tests will put you as one or the other. So the test I made gives you a percentage. So it might say like 10% this way or 10% that way. So the percentage is really useful. And don't allow any of those labels to stop you. But if you understand that you have this introversion, you know, you might be better off working behind the scenes on the system. You know, if you're really out there with people, you may be better off with sales and stuff. But a question I wanted to ask is, what do you think is more important? Making your strengths stronger, or working on your weaknesses so that you stop kind of missing out or losing?
Is it a question to me or to everybody?
Question for everybody, because there's no right answer. But what do you think? What do you guys think? Who thinks working on your strength? Or
may I?
Yeah.
I tend to like more working on my strengths, and there's a reason behind it, is that it builds confidence. When you do something that you're really, really good at, then it builds the confidence to work on something that you are not good at, or you're getting better at. That's what I think.
Right. And Michael Jordan is known for his basketball. He's not known for his Michael Jordan isn't known for his linguistic skills or his NLP. He's known for his basketball. So we make our strength stronger. But on the other side of the coin, what if the only thing stopping you from getting your goals was a weakness? Like limiting belief, perhaps. Or like a lack of the skill set. So most people go, no, work on your strengths. And a lot of the books will tell you, stop working and worrying about your weaknesses, go work on your strengths. But I'm just curious, because sometimes it's just a little weakness. And sometimes that weakness could be a limiting belief or two. And sometimes that limiting belief could be a matter of hiring an accountant or partnering with a bookkeeper, hiring a bookkeeper or someone to work on your weakness. I like that question. You know, what's more important, work on your strengths or fixing the weakness?
I like that.
Claire?
Another reason why I think that working on our strength right away is better is that it doesn't just develop the tangible, the results that you can see, that you can feel, but it helps to develop you, because when you become more confident, it develops your personality. But being good at something develops more of a tends to develop more of something that you can, a result that is really visible, that you can see. So
Maybe the weakness is important then.
it's not, there's, you can't say, well, I can't say one is more important than the other, but it depends, because if we're doing work on our inner self, if we're doing work on our limiting beliefs, it might take longer to obtain the result of example, starting a business. If you have a big fear of starting a business, I'm not good enough, you know, that means you gotta, very often I find starting a business is, or starting anything, it's a matter of momentum. Once you get the ball rolling.
Might throw the microphone back over to Valentine. I wanted to say that because sometimes people just need to have a coaching session or two, yeah? Coaching session with Karina or Valentine. Sometimes people just need to get a coaching session. Valentine, what's next?
Yes, what next? What is next? By the way, about let me ask you, because I like this question. I like this question, and I think that it's a little bit of both. But I would focus on strengths, and I was on its way. I would getting rid of weakness, because if I would focus on weakness, I will focus on my it will just lower my self-esteem, esteem, as Karina said. It will just drag me down. But if you focus on strengths and in the same time eliminate your weaknesses on your way, that's the good strategy. Okay, so next puzzle, essential puzzle that we gonna take is and discuss. It's a network, and the network. I don't want to talk about it too much, because you obviously understand how it's important and why it's important. There are only maybe you can just take a screenshot and just remind yourself to always constantly work on your network, because it's here's the mindset for each puzzle. I have the mindset that represents the idea. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you want to level up your progress, you just need to, level up and find people who inspires you and spend more time with them. In that case, you automatically, they actually dragging you to the level you want to be. So network is essential tool. That's the second puzzle. Adrian, do you have something to add here?
I just like this one because it says you are the average. So when I first read this, I was thinking about this from the money context. I used to think of this quote from the money context, but you can take this quote. This quote isn't just about money, is it?
No, I think it's also about everything. Yeah, the quality of life in general. Okay, moving on. Next step. So, okay, so we understand who we are, what we're capable for. We realize, okay, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. We talk with people, we found some connections, we understand, okay, I want to be, we receive some feedbacks, and now, actually, I would recommend, only now, I would recommend to choose the niche. When you realize who you are, what you're capable for, what you want, you understand, you get some feedbacks, and only after that, I would recommend you to search for the niche, as we discussed in our previous session. Maybe adjust a niche, but it's the time to make a plan. And first plan, on purpose, I put here raw plan, because if you set a big goal, this goal might be, I wouldn't say too big. It might be a little bit, there is a very good quote, if you climb, sorry, just give me 1 second. I'm trying to translate it in my head.
Insurmountable, hard to climb over? Too big
No,
to climb?
no. It's when you climb on this on a ladder to success, on the top
Ascend.
of the ladder, you realize that happiness is on another ladder. So you always need to understand which ladder you climb to be able maybe to put it in a little bit another direction, to put it in another direction. So when you're setting the big goal, keep in mind that you always can tweak it a little bit, and circumstances can change, and maybe you will see even bigger picture, bigger opportunity, something that drives you even more. But for the beginning, setting the big goal and seeing your direction is a very good. So that's why I call it raw plan. And also I would call it the third puzzle as a liquid goal setting. Liquid goal setting, because in our life only one thing is permanent and constant, and this is change. Everything constantly changing, so you need to be flexible. We need to be flexible to adjust to these changes, because if we put two solid goals and this it's a long-term goal, we can miss out in a long term. Like we can do something very, very long time, and at the end when we achieve it, we realize, like, okay, the life has already changed, but we achieved something that we don't want. We don't really want. So liquid goal setting, flexibility and ability to adjust to circumstances, but in the same time keep in mind your direction, see your direction, and adjust your way to that. And here is the quote. I love this quote. Having a flexible mindset means being open to new opportunities and being able to pivot when necessary. So this is our third puzzle.
There too. I
Yeah.
love
Oh, just a second. Adrian, do you have something to add here?
Yeah. Check out the author; it's cool. Yeah, this thing that Valentine just mentioned about liquid goals, I love this, because a lot of people like to get a more solid plan, and part of us, it's human nature. We want certainty. We all want a sense of certainty, but we also want uncertainty or variety. So we often have plans that may be too loose, and some plans are too tight. One thing I used to really enjoy was like a 1-page business plan, or a 3-page business plan, or a business Canva. So if you are new to it and you haven't seen it before, you might want to look at business Canva, or perhaps Valentine will have a 2-3-page business plan. But if your business plan is more than 3 pages, you're wasting your time. Get away from the plan, get back. Business plans should just be 1 or 2 pages, and they need to be fluid and able to adapt. But there's nothing wrong with you having a 1, 2, 3 page business plan for your entrepreneurial endeavor. whether it be becoming a coach, a musician, or an actor, why not have a 1, 2, 3 page business plan for yourself? Because you are the business. And this being open to flexibility and being lucid is wonderful. So with that, we need to keep in mind, what's our intention? Yeah. So if you've got a goal in mind, step back. What's the intention? Once you step back and consider the intention, well, does the intention and the outcome align? Also consider your results from the personality test. So my personality test says this. The outcome or goal I want is this. The intention is this. Do they line up? And quite often they don't. And if they don't line up, you're climbing a ladder to the wrong place. You're climbing the ladder of someone else's success. So we've got to make sure our personalities, our outcome, and our intention line up. Once they do, go a bit further forward. So if I get all this, if I get this outcome, what happens in future? What are the consequences, good and bad? Step into the future. Is this what I really want to? Make sure all that lines up before putting money down for a new business venture or equipment or contracts and lawyers. Get all that stuff lining up first. If you want to drop a couple of $100 down in coaching or a coaching program, you can just go and do it. But if you're going to be investing like 6 months or 6 years of your life, make sure that stuff lines up. Yeah? Your personalities, your goals, the intention, and the future consequences. We want them all to line up nice and smoothly and support each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so our next step would be, could you guess, is solid goal setting. Because you might think that I'm contributing to myself, but I'm not, because we should be able to set liquid goals and solid goals. Because if our goals are always liquid, we will end up in mess. Because business is also discipline. It's also ability to put effort to go to the finish no matter what. And this big goal, I recommend to break down in small goals that you can achieve no matter what, because it's also training of your discipline, ability to accomplish tasks. And if you start something and you don't accomplish even something, get to your mind, okay, you just realize that, oh, maybe this business is not more relevant. Maybe you can choose something else. You will always jump from one task to another, from one task to another. But if you train yourself to accomplish tasks, you can get the right feedbacks from the reality. Because if you don't accomplish tasks, you are not getting feedback. Actually, this is example for me. When I'm doing my online courses, especially the first course, it was difficult to accomplish, and I didn't want to. But at some points I needed to push myself. I really needed to say, okay, go. And I reminded myself when I go run, you have this feeling that, oh, maybe I should go back home, maybe I should leave it. But then something inside you pushes you, okay, let's do 1 more kilometer, let's do 2 more kilometers. And here's the same actually thing, like you do sport. You're just pushing yourself. Okay, I decided to run 10 kilometers today, so I run 10 kilometers no matter what. So your first task, I suggest you to set with this mindset. I will accomplish it no matter what within 1 month, for instance, or within 2 months, or within 1 week. But this is not because you should accomplish this task. It's because you should train yourself to accomplish tasks. So this is the solid goals approach. And here is even two mindsets. Goals allow you to control the direction of a change in your favor. So if you want to change reality, you need to put effort in the right direction, and you need to basically it's like doing sport. When you do sport, it's a little bit through pain, and you need to understand, okay, I'm doing this, but this is healthy pain, and I can shape this reality. I will shape this reality because I'm going from point A to point B, and I see my direction. So right goal setting and achieving the goals is basically the shaping the reality, because when you achieve the goals, you instantly become, you finally becoming in a new reality, because you was in the reality when you didn't achieve something, didn't accomplish something. Then you in another reality when you have something, you brought something from non-existence. Setting the goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. Yes, it's a Tony Robbins quote, and I really love it, because as entrepreneurs, we always bring something from another reality, from non-existence to existence. Steve Jobs made an iPhone 20 years ago. We wouldn't even believe that we can watch movies on the phone. Now it's our reality, and nobody doubted. But before, can you imagine how much resistance he could experience? So we also going through this resistance when we're bringing our ideas to reality. It's maybe sometimes feels like all world against us, but with willpower, we step by step, by small steps, creating a new reality.
So
Yeah, so
role plan, making sure it all aligns, liquid goals or kind of loosish goals, and then more solid goals. If you're trying to achieve something like financial freedom, or get a business going, particularly if you want to get a business going where you have employees and millions of dollars or whatever, it's kind of like running a marathon, running 40-mile or an ultra marathon. And the thing is, you guys can all run an ultra marathon. You can, but you might not be able to run it in one hit. So, we want to break it up into smaller pieces, as Valentine said, right? But if you can't run a kilometer, I don't like your chances of running a marathon. So when we break down the pieces and have little pieces, little sprints, or little 1 week goals or 1 month goals, once we hit them, as Karina said before, once we hit them, we get the assurance that we can hit them. But if we're setting 1 month goals and we're not hitting them, what are you going to do? Maybe cut them in half, do 2 week goals. If you're not hitting 2 week goals, cut them in half, maybe 1 week goals. But if you can't set little goals and hit them, then there's no way we're going to hit big goals. Yeah. So we've got to train ourselves to hit small goals, all right? And with that, have a bit of liquidity. And if we can't hit small goals, we've got to talk to someone about it. With that, a really, really key thing is to have feedback. Feedback from others, but more importantly, feedback from ourselves. So when you're setting small goals, when you're hitting them, you get the feedback. And if you don't, you get feedback as well. And it's all feedback. It's all feedback. I mean, it's all feedback.
Okay. Then moving on, the last puzzle in the picture, in our first step picture, let's say, is that gaze. I don't know if you're familiar with you're probably familiar with this term, that gaze. It's the the spirit of time, the spirit of time. And if we are not catching the spirit of time, we are missing out. Last time I was talking about this example. Do you know this the little story, Little Prince, or Le Petit Prince is French small book, and it has a very good character. It's a scientist who always was dressed like a Turkish salesman, Turkish man. Like he always was dressed in a Turkish way. So, and he came to a conference and he was talking about that he discovered a comet, and everybody was laughing at him, not because he discovered something significant, because he was dressed not in the right way. And sometimes when we have very good ideas in mind, we cannot deliver them because we don't really understand what's really happening around. So it's very important to catch this time spirit and understand what is going on now, how I can understand my audience better, what's really going on. And for that, we need to constantly learn to catch this flow, catch this time spirit, that gaze. Because through that gaze, we can offer modern solutions and understand the request. So this is the fifth puzzle. And here is the mindset. In the world where change is the only constant, those who are able to learn, adapt, and evolve are the ones who will thrive. So this is the main idea. Set the right foundation, create the environment, and catch that gaze through your own understanding of reality, through your own inner value. When it comes together, you basically getting it. It sounds a little bit complex, but it is complex. It has complexity. But once we figure it out, we experience what we want. We experience what we're searching for, basically. Yeah. So this is the last puzzle in the picture, in the foundational picture of how to start a business or how to tweak business so it brings more joy and fulfillment to what you do. Adrian, if you have something to add.
Yeah, I work in the coaching space, so coaching and training is my little thing, right? And a lot of coaches and trainers have this idea in their head, especially NLP practitioners as well. But my guys, they're a couple of steps ahead of the rest. A lot of coaches have this idea that the way to go is to sell your services one-to-one. So they think the way to be a successful coach is to sell their services one-to-one. And they often limit themselves to that thinking. And they might start marketing, going out there, networking, hustling with this concept of mind of working one-to-one. Yet when you take a couple of steps back and look at the big picture, there's actually a lot of different ways coaches can work. And this goes the same for a lot of businesses. There's a lot of different ways that we can provide our services. So if coaching one-for-one, I have to get my money from someone else who needs my services. And I work with someone and do a good job. I could do an absolute great job, but it's just one person. I have another client. His name's Lucas. He has an AI company, artificial intelligence. Yeah, just last week, his CTO was having a problem. So I just got on the phone to him. I coached him on the spot. If anyone in his company has an issue, they can call me. One customer, one client, but a whole pile of coaching. Yeah. So rather than going out one to one-to-one. I've got one guy who owns a business with now 20 staff, and I can coach any of them. It's a different way to operate. You know, there's a saying, you know, you can't see the forest for the trees. A lot of people get so stuck in their business, and they often try to work harder in the business. And as they work harder in the business and harder in their business, notice my shoulders, they work harder and harder in their business, their whole body ends up like this, and they can break down. But what we really need to do is to open up, step out,
Adrian, can I say something?
down, slow down, and take a big picture view. Yeah, Claire?
Yeah, so I'm asking you, like, at the beginning, like, do you need to do a lot of accumulation of one-to-one to build up this confidence and this proficiency, you know, like the ground of it, to get you this kind of company CEO relationships?
Claire, I believe that 100%, but I believe that there is also more ways. I did it like that, and I believe in that, but I also believe there are many other ways as well. And I believe there are other ways you can go even faster.
Oh yeah, it's like you don't have this kind of confidence, you know, like you need I need to get enough feedback to be myself.
Yeah,
Like
I believe in that model, but I also believe there are other ways, and some of my students are doing ways, and I didn't believe in them, but
Really?
I didn't believe in their way. I believed in them, not in their method. I believed in them. And some of them really did well, and some of them not so well. A pile of them got into positive intelligence, and 1 year later, they all realized it was a dud. I told everyone it was a dud. I told everyone, like, stay away, it's a dud. Yet half the Shanghai coaching circle and that went into it. And, you know, 1-2 years later, they're all finding out they wasted 2 years' time and tons of money. So sometimes it's really clear when things are duds. That's why I say you got to get on the phone and speak to professionals. Because a lot of professional coaches will tell you straight up it's a really duddy program, but tons of people did it and it was all well marketed. Yet on the other side of the coin, Valentine here has made an online course and he is getting paid for it. I have seen the paychecks coming in. I have seen, I got an email alert, money's in.
See that.
I'm like,
I want
cool.
it.
So I know he is making money with his online courses. And I see some other people trying it and it not working. So to make it work, the coaching, if you want to make online courses, I can share with you a little bit of advice, but if you want to make online courses, get Valentine. He's done it. He's made that way work. I think Jay's a great bloke, but don't hire Jay to make an online course, work with Valentine. He's done it. He's got the success. But Jay, on the other hand, Jay works in a city. Jay works in a city. If you see him in person, you know, he wears a suit, he wears a tie, he looks sharp. A good way for Jay might be, and Jay also lived in China for many years, a better way for Jay might be going to internations or networking events where there's a lot of Lao Wai or foreigners. Because if he goes to an event where there's a lot of foreigners in Australia, he'll be able to connect really well with them. He can connect really well with French, German, South African, whatever. He can connect really well. He's had so many years abroad. He gets it. Yeah. On the other side of the coin, where Darko isn't in the best place for networking. So Darko's working a lot with the Motivate community and Darko's giving lots away. Every person has their own ways, and that's based on their strengths, their personalities and stuff. I think everything that you've shared, Claire, Karina, Shay, Darko, Zena, and Val, everything that's being shared, I think is 100% true and accurate. And we got to find what's really true and accurate for us, get the feedback, and talk to others about it. Now, with the coaching thing, is it all right if I share a little bit more about succeeding as a coaching business? So a lot of people have the idea of working one-to-one. And I know a friend of mine, he has a business and he's on like podcasts and he's doing voiceovers. So if he's doing a voiceover and he works with one person one-to-one, great. But another way to work could be on something like Fiverr. You guys heard of Fiverr or Upwork? Yeah, Fiverr and Upwork, two new ways to work. They work for coaches as well. There are websites where you can put on your stuff on a website, but a lot of people like to make their own website. Do we have any website engineers? Anyone in this group can make a website? All right.
You look like someone who can make one.
Let us guys websites. Let us make websites. But if you can't make a website, don't learn. Don't learn to do it. You'll waste your time. You can waste so much time trying to learn a website. And some coaches tell me, I can't coach because I don't have a website or a business card yet. Yeah, I see Karina nodding her head. Bullshit, isn't it, Karina? You just got to go ahead and do it. So if you have excuses like, oh, I can't find the client, or oh, the business plan isn't working, what kind of feedback is that? What kind of feedback is that really? If business cards aren't working for you, yep, sorry, Xander?
It's feedback that you need to rethink your strategy and start taking different routes to achieve your goal.
Rethink your strategy. Rethink your strategy. I really like that. And that's true. Don't take it personally. And that's what a lot of us do. We take it personally. If you try a new strategy, flyers, marketing, YouTube videos, whatever, podcast, mailers, if it hasn't worked, it's probably the strategy, or take that feedback. It's about the strategy, not you. You can do this. You're magical. No one else can replace you. You are unique. No one else has what you have. The feedback you're getting back might be that strategy doesn't work. And if that strategy doesn't work, well, who's a strategy expert for that strategy? And now Karina's about to say,
in Valentine's true words, being able to adjust like that, like Xander said, it would be the liquid goal. Being able to adjust, to flow. Right, Valentine? You weren't listening.
yeah, the hard goal hasn't worked, so he goes back to his liquid and he knows what he wants, so he sets a new hard goal. Okay, business cards didn't work, I'll try a website. Website hasn't worked, maybe I'll try getting someone else to work on the website. If all that doesn't work, okay, maybe I'll try going face to face. And he keeps coming back to his more liquid goal or his higher intention. But you got to remember, right? Don't take it personally. That strategy hasn't worked. And with all these strategies, there's different books as well. I've shared a few of our guys a book on creating courses. One of the keys, I'm going to share this, Valentine. I know you, it's part of your training. But if you're going to create an online course, we'll save you $1 million in time and energy right now. Don't design a course until you've sold it. Yeah, sell it. If someone buys it, then make it. Yeah, make sure someone's actually going to pay for it with money and actually put their cash down. And once they put their cash down, then say, excellent, thank you so much. We have you on our special list, and you're going to get a wonderful bonus, and you're going to get part 1 of the course next week. Yeah. But don't make a massive course, or don't invest thousands of dollars on a course until you've sold one. Now, Valentine's got a lot more magic to help you really get courses going. Do you want to share? I know it's a bit early. You want to share now, Valentine, what you're doing, or do you want to share a bit more?
Actually, I have last slide. I just, because I promised life hacks. So life hacks, business hacks. I promised. So here they are. 3 business hacks that I consider. I was thinking like there are many business hacks, but I think that are most fundamental for nowadays for that case, let's say. So now artificial intelligence is really thing to master, at least to be aware of and start to imply into your work, because it's it's handy. I do it, and it helps me a lot. Second thing is minimalism. When you apply minimalism to your work, it helps you to first to understand where you are, because to be honest with you, I'm super messy guy. I'm like very creative, and I have a lot of things around me, but I'm trying to stick to this minimalism, because when I see that something is extra on my table, it means that I forget something. Maybe I forget to do this task, maybe I forget to do that task, but to keep your space as clean, as minimalistic as possible helps you first to understand where you are, and second, to stick with most effective action, because you have only what you need, nothing else. If you have something else, it means it's just a sign for you that you need to maybe do something, change something, so on and so forth. So this is, and the last one is constant learning and flexibility. Actually, this is the best pathway to that gaze spirit all the time. So these are 3 life hacks that covers, I think, that all of them.
Boom! You made it here! Good on you. Make sure you click the subscribe button below and check out the playlist at the end. If you'd like to come along to our Sunday sessions where we host a live free Q&A for our students and members, you're welcome. I'll see you there.